So basically, what you're saying is that Trump may not want them to talk because he knows that the only choice that the only choice the Democrats will have, the only tool they have in their belt, the only weapon they have in this war is to allow the government to shut down. But once that transpires, that opens a floodgate of power that he once did not possess, where he can indiscriminately go through and start cutting off people and laying people off that he would not have been able to touch if the government shutdown did not occur. Welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. Just so you know, we're here for educational entertainment purposes only. You can find our disclaimer in the description box below. We're going to bring you that information that can help you understand what's going on so that you can look at both sides and draw your own conclusion without having to hear it from one biased source. And here today to help me do that is my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell. And I'm going to let him introduce himself as always. Dion.
Welcome to the Think Tank. I'm 78th Assembly District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx Conservative Party, not a Republican Party, for sure of that. And we're here to talk about all things MAGA and all the people that love, most importantly, hate and want to destroy them. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about it. What is on the agenda for today? Dems win special election. We're going to skip that. Trump told Republicans don't talk. Oh boy. So we're at it again. It must be another year
He
because
hasn't been in the office a year yet. Whoa.
we're already talking about government shutdown.
It's always game annually they do the same dance. People have to realize that every year it's the same government shutdown talk. And somebody actually told me something very key about the Kennedy Services Agents Department. That never have we had to know so many people in the agency publicly before in the Trump administration. All the people that you don't know whose names is these different various departments, we know, like the special assistant too, because everybody's watching the government. So one thing about Donald Trump you can say, even if you hate his guts, is that he really is exposing what's really going on in the government because it's under heavy scrutiny.
It is under heavy scrutiny. It is more in everybody's face than it's ever been. But unfortunately, it's not for a good reason. We're watching him because we're watching this country fall apart. I mean, I just did some grocery shopping today.
Oh, good.
That's what I said. I said, oh, God, when I looked at the bill, everything is up in price. I'm house shopping right now. Houses are not affordable. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to do my best. I'm pulling out every trick I can find. I got a good team I work with. I might get lucky while a lot of people will not because things are not affordable right now. But that's another story. We're here to talk about the government shutdown looming. Like you said, it's annual. Both parties do it. Republicans shut it down, Democrats shut it down. At first government shutdown I heard about remember when I started paying attention, it was Republicans. And the Democrats doing it now. See, here's the thing. In Texas, they wanted to arrest people because they didn't want to show up and go to work. Because
You mean politicians?
Yes. Yes.
Who have something called a whip. And a whip is supposed to actually whip their political party in the House to actually come in and vote and not just disappear, pursuing their bylaws or internal constitution.
And Republicans were up in arms that Democrats didn't want to come and vote, right? Is that how that worked in Texas?
Yes.
Wasn't that like a week or two before Republicans called a timeout for the summer because they didn't want to vote on the Epstein files?
That was like maybe a
Same
month
time.
ago, a couple of weeks ago.
So you mean that they wanted to arrest Democrats and they went and did the same thing?
Well, you're talking about redistricting in
They
Texas.
wanted to arrest Democrats because they didn't want to vote, and then Republicans did the same thing?
Well, those are for the bylaws or the state constitution that governs the legislature,
They did the
whatever
same
rules they
thing?
have. The
Did they
same
not do the
thing?
same thing? Is it not
I
the
don't think
same
it's the
thing?
same thing. No.
Okay, so the Republicans didn't want to show up to work to vote. What do you call it?
Breaking quorum.
That was what they did in Texas. And what they're trying to do now, same thing. And that was the Epstein file. Look what they're doing now. Look what they're doing now. What they're doing right now is what we're talking about, right?
Apples to guns. That's the comparison you're doing right now.
Right. But no, it's not, because they want to break quorum over voting on budgets, right? That's what it was. It was voting on the fiscal budget for the year in Texas. That's what the quorum was about, right? That's what they were supposed to get
Redistricting,
together and
yes.
vote
They
on,
wanted
right?
to put in a policy to redistrict the lines in which they felt would be correct in favor of the Republican majority of
Right, the
Texas.
gerrymandering portion
But
of
there
it,
was also
but
other things on the docket
such
that they
as the
had to vote
fiscal
on.
budget.
Right.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that. I just wanted to bring that in. So in Texas, they wanted to arrest people. They even held a black lady in chambers and wouldn't let her out unless she was escorted by police to make her vote. But now the Republicans won't come and talk to the Democrats about anything because Trump said don't talk to them.
Well, that's a state
And
level. This is a federal level. This is difference, Leo. They're talking about a federal shutdown, which affects federal employees, not state employees. Understand?
oh, I understand. I understand completely. What you're saying is Texas did that because that was the state level, but now we're talking about the federal level. So even though it's the exact same thing, it's different because it's not the state. So you can do that in the red state when it's blue people and Democrats and a black woman getting locked into a chambers. But when we start talking about doing it at the federal level, it's a problem. But like to lock the
Reframe.
black people, but illegally lock the black people up. Got you.
Wow. Thank God none
But
of this kind of twisted talk doesn't work. And that's like maybe 5 years old,
that's
back to
what
2020.
happened. 5 years old. That happened 3 months ago. What are you
Yeah,
talking
we're
about?
talking now a new potential government shutdown. Don't you see how every year around near Christmas and Thanksgiving there's always a government shutdown looming? You people got to wake up and see through this.
Oh my God. So basically, you're trying to fool the public into thinking that this is something that happens. Listen, the reason it happens at this time is something that you've said on this show a multitude of times. The reason it happens now is because this is the end of the fiscal year. It happens now because this is when they have to vote on, what is it, a continuing resolution in order for
Ooh,
in order
Leo.
for
Yes.
in order for the budget to keep going, because
Stop gate.
this is the part of the year, this time of the year that the vote is due. So if you can't do it any other time, but when the vote is due, now the vote is due. And the Republicans knew it was coming. And what did the Republicans do? They did all of that. And now Trump is like, we don't want you to talk. I don't want you to talk to the Republicans, the Democrats at all. Do not speak to them. Do you realize there's a government shutdown coming? Don't speak to them. So, being that they're trying to pass bills that the Democrats cannot sign off on, and let's talk about what they don't want passed, right? Just so you know, the reason the Democrats want to talk is because they want to talk about something called the Affordable Care Act. It has also been called in the past Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
The reason they want to talk about the Affordable Care Act is because the Affordable Care Act credits are going to run out at the end of September 2025, which means the next week, the Affordable Care Act credits will end. What that will mean to the average American is that the prices of your medicines, of your medical visits, anything that has to do with your medical care is going to shoot up and skyrocket. And the Democrats want to meet with them to figure out how to stop. Republicans were up in arms that Democrats didn't want to come and vote, right? Is that how that worked in Texas?
Yes.
Wasn't that like a week or two before Republicans called the timeout for the summer because they didn't want to vote on the Epstein files? The price of medical attention, medical care, medicine from skyrocketing. That's what they want. That's it. That's what they want to talk about. And Donald Trump said, don't talk to them about it. These prices can go up. It's okay. Don't talk to them. And so they're not meeting with Democrats to talk about saving the average person, to save you all this money on your medical benefits. That's what this whole thing about the government shutdown is about. I don't want that to escape. It's about saving your pockets so that you can still afford to go see a doctor if you get sick, that you can go have surgery for little Tommy if he gets a broken leg. Like, so you can see a doctor if you, like, yo, they trying to shoot the prices up on you. And all the Democrats are doing is trying to say, yo, hold on, let's not do that to the American people. And Donald Trump is saying, go ahead and do it. And the Republicans are like, so we're not going to talk to them. We'll let the government shut down. What do you want? Dion, what is your opinion on what the people should do? And what do you think about the fact that the Affordable Care Act credits are, as it were, about to expire?
Well, most of these policies have an expiration date and they roll over to a new administration or a continuing administration, just like the Civil Rights Act. Oh, so the Obamacare, the what do you call it? Affordable Care Act, right? So again, the Republicans have the House and the Senate. Theoretically, they could just coast to a vote, but right now the Democrats are trying to use the government shutdown as leverage to say, "Hey, look, Trump is a tyrant. He let the government shut down. He won't give it to our demands about our access to health care." So that's what's going on. It's always give and take, and we'll see who blinks in which chamber, because Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, aka Obama, the new version, are all trying very hard to look strong now and manly.
Why is he Obama the new version?
Well, they call Hakeem Jeffries jokingly
Who
Obama
calls him that?
Huh?
Who calls him that? He
Black
is no
conservatives.
Obama. Who the hell would say that?
Black
Outside of a
independent
racist,
thinkers.
you're saying it. So now I
Dollar
want to
Tree
know outside of a
Obama.
racist who says that.
Dollar Store Obama. That's what they call this guy. But not me though, because I know people in his circles. So I'm just, reiterating what I've seen on the YouTube TV. How about that?
Sounds like a bunch of racists. He's Obama because
Okay,
he's
well, it's
black.
the black people that call that, not the white people. So how's it racist?
I haven't heard a black person say it.
Well, I can't drop any names of the YouTubers that say it all the time, but yes, he is looking not very authentic to
He
himself.
sucks.
And him, just like Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, sound like they're emulating Barack Obama, the president, because they want to be that. Understand?
No,
But we're
not really.
digressing here. The point is this: Republicans got the vote. Democrats going to do what their best they can to obstruct and then blame Trump without any solutions. Back to you.
There is a solution.
What
There's
is
a
it?
strong solution. There's a simple solution. Don't let the Affordable Care Act expire on the millions and millions of people that rely on it for their health care. It's
Like
not
me and
rocket
you.
science. For instance, because Affordable Care Act, everybody thinks Medicare, Medicaid. No, that was in the big beautiful bill that came and just crapped all over everybody. Affordable Care Act's us. It's everybody else. It's the people that get their stuff for an affordable price. Prices weren't so daggone high as they were before the Affordable Care Act, which made the Affordable Care Act such a wonderful bill. But you're wrong. They cannot just coast into a win. So apparently, I remember now, the Democrats won a special election in Arizona. That special election in Arizona gave them additional congressional seats, which will allow them the ability to block the Republicans just being able to coast into the vote. That special election in Arizona changed the numbers. They need Democrat votes. That's why they are willing to let it shut down, because the entire reason they're willing to let it shut down right now is because they can't just let it coast. They need Democratic votes, or the Affordable Care Act can't be just let go. They understand that the Affordable Care Act is going to hurt the taking away the Affordable Care Act hurts their constituents. They get that. They know that. They understand it. They comprehend it. Maybe some of the people listening don't. Apparently you do, Dion. But I don't think our listeners really understand how it's going to hurt them. And I think that the people that are in charge in their districts that are allowing it are hurting them, are doing them a great deal of disservice, and they're dishonest. But this is not something that's going to be years from now. You understand this. You know that this is something that's going to hurt people right now. So what is your opinion on what should happen with the Affordable Care Act? Do you want to see the continuance? Do you want to see them do something about it? Or do you want to see the Democrats get crushed just because you're that big of a Republican? I'm sorry, because you're that big of a
No,
Trumper.
fact check. Once again, you can't just go around telling lies, Jimmy Kimmel. That's why your show might get pulled. What I would like to see happen is, when it comes to healthcare, particularly, let's all try to focus on Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and have him into the conversation. How they're trying to impeach him. Let's bring that up. So you see, these guys aren't serious about healthcare at all. They're all about themselves. But I would like to see everybody have some form of access to health insurance, basic. So. And if you have the money, then hey, you should be able to buy better health insurance or pay out of pocket, or if you're part of a union or an association. For individuals who are poor like me, Medicaid is great, but there has to be a better way. But since the big beautiful bill has passed, we shall see. But in the meantime, we're doing the annual dance of a bigger threat around the corner called government shutdown. So it's time for you to be scared, and the Democrats are trying to take full advantage to convince you to hate President Trump.
So the Democrats are only asking for one thing, but the Republicans won't even talk about it. To save the average American person, millions of American people money on their health care. And because the Republicans don't want to do that, and the president has directed them to not discuss it, the Democrats are at fault. That's how this works to you?
Well, again, the president is showing tremendous leadership. If he did that, fine. But is it playing out? Let it play out. The clock is ticking. We'll see who the public believes and what happens.
So, wow. Later for who the public believes. Because you seem very focused on winning. Let's suppose Donald Trump gets what he wants and the Affordable Care Act is no more. Who won? Who really wins?
Well, again, this all will reflect in next year's midterm elections. But in the meantime, it's that time again. I'm sure they're going to come back to the table and find some kind of compromise without a shutdown. But again, President Trump may want to see a shutdown because, as you know, he's trying to doge a lot of programs and actually fire a lot of people. So that's another thing that we have to discuss as well. How many people that he would like to terminate as a result of a shutdown and just shift the blame to the Democrats and say, hey, I tried. And that's how he gets down.
Right. And that's something that hasn't been spoken about. It's something I comprehend. They spoke about it the last time they tried to do a shutdown, but they didn't speak about it this time. Why don't you explain to people how he will be able to fire people at enormous rates if there's a shutdown? Would you explain that to people?
Right. Just like in previous presidential administrations, every time there's a shutdown, there's always mass layoffs and there's no really big riots. There's always a government freeze in terms of hiring new employees. A lot of people forget these things, but under President Trump, boy, man, they highly scrutinize and try to figure out how these things works when it's a little too late. So that's something that, again, the courts can't really stop if there is a government shutdown because remember, these things, some people are saying aren't in Trump's hands at all, but they're in Congress. So if Congress allows it to happen, the president can say, hands off, hey, Congress let us shut down. And as the executive office of the United States of America, I have to let these people go. Or they let go because Congress has failed them so that he could pass the buck over there. Understand?
No, all right. So I'm gonna ask you a question a different way. Please understand the question because this is very important. I want the people to understand this. This is knowledge that you have. If a government shutdown occurs, the president gets the ability to lay people off that he would not be able to lay off without the government shutdown. Why is that?
Yes. Why is that? Well, again, Congress has to approve the budget and how to pay people. Without that, as the executive officer, he has the discretion to actually indiscriminately fire the employees
Why is that?
because Congress has to approve the budget. You understand? Remember, President Trump can't just fire people arbitrarily that Congress puts there. You understand? So there's certain checks and balances, and we haven't used that term. So this is a check and balance. Without Congress to actually approve a budget, the president, as the executive officer, driving the car of the country, can say, you know what? These people have to be let go because we can't literally afford them. We have to put a hiring freeze.
So basically, what you're saying is that Trump may not want them to talk because he knows that the only choice that Democrats will have, the only tool they have in their belt, the only weapon they have in this war is to allow the government to shut down. But once that transpires, that opens a floodgate of power that he once did not possess, where he can indiscriminately go through and start cutting off people and laying people off that he would not have been able to touch if the government shutdown did not occur. Is that accurate?
That sounds about right, Leo. You said it more eloquently than I.
I was trying to get you to say it. But
I want you to be the bad guy today.
It's not about being a bad guy, it's bringing out the facts. All right, so this government shutdown might be about the ability to do layoffs. That might be the real reason behind it. Because the Republicans are forcing the shutdown by not even talking to the Democrats, and that order came from the top. This might be something they talked about behind closed doors, and they're letting it play out. They already know what it is. He probably has a list of people he wants to get rid of, and once they're gone, once the government's back open, it's not like they can bring them right back. It doesn't work that way. Can they bring a lot of them back eventually? Yes. Will the Congress do it? We're talking about the Trump Congress, probably not.
Oh, it's Trump Congress now, huh? Okay.
Well, I mean, it's the same guy who, when they voted against him last time, on a Friday, he went and talked to him on a Saturday, Sunday. They said whatever he said, and that was it. This man told them what to do, and they said, "How high, boss? Jump, jump." So if we're talking about somebody with that type of leverage over the Congress, they're not going to be hiring people back. This might be a ploy, and you probably didn't hear this anyplace else first. I didn't even think of it. Dion brought this to us. Thank you for Dion. Brought this to our attention. Because like that is the power. That's the 3D chess that they be talking about. I don't think Trump came up with it, but I think Trump is executing it perfectly. Because now the Democrats are in a no-win situation. You let the Affordable Care Act go, or you let all the employees go.
Well, see, I'm glad you finally admitted what all of us already knew, that these people are playing shoots and ladders, and this man is playing 3D chess on them. And every time again, he always gets them to get more angry and hateful. But yes, next topic.
Oh no, he's definitely outplaying them. The Democrats
Thank you.
The Democrats are acting like fools with no spine or backbone.
Toxic masculinity, Leo. That's what happens when you don't have.
How dare you compare Hakeem Jeffries to Obama? Obama, when Obama came out to debate and he got eaten one time. The next time that man came out to debate, we saw that he was a lawyer. He shut it down. He didn't play all of that. All that nice guy went out the window. He came at it. Hakeem Jeffries, don't compare him to Obama. Just because he's black doesn't make him
headphones
Obama.
Like you when he does the virtual interviews.
Don't compare him to Obama, man. That's that's just saying.
He has the same cadence as Obama.
He actually does use the cadence that President Obama uses when he's about to talk, to be able to use his pauses in the proper place so that
plain inflection.
He does do that. He do that. I noticed that myself.
Trying to freaking doppelgang the spectacular vernacular.
Word. Anyway, if you guys like this content, please like, share, subscribe. We're here every Sunday, 9 p.m. Come in, join the debate, bring your perspective. Perhaps you'll see something that we didn't, that should be introduced to the audience, to the world. And we're giving both sides, trying to make changes. You see how today, for some reason, we're clicking. We're seeing eye to eye. We're bringing new perspectives. No one spoke about this 3D chess game that's being done.